Welcome to the BPA Energy Efficiency Tracking System training. In this video, I will show you how to enter applications into BEETS via manual entry. It is important to note that there are two ways to enter applications into BEETS. This entry method depends on which programs you are submitting applications for. These entry methods must be followed in order for the applications to be processed properly. The first method is via bulk upload. This is typically used for programs that require bulk entry or submittal of a calculator. Please reference the BEETS navigation guide or separate video on how to bulk upload for instructions on how to proceed with this method. Today, we'll be talking about manual entry. This is when application data is entered directly into the system via form by the user. This applies to the ones listed on the bottom and marked application manual entry on the right. I will now go into the system and show you how to submit a manual entry application. After logging into BEETS, you will be taken to the BEETS dashboard. Please note that your dashboard may look differently than mine depending on which widgets you have enabled. To submit an application via manual entry, click on the Application Processing tab up top. Then hover over and click New Application. Select your utility from the drop-down. Note that you will only have access to utilities that you have permissions to use. From Select Program, select the program that you would like to submit an application for. It is important to note that all programs, whether they be bulk entry required or manual entry, show up in this drop-down. You must make sure that you do not submit ones that require bulk upload through this form, or the application will not process properly. Today, we will use a custom project option 1 as an example. However, all programs follow a similar process. From the Select Application Form drop-down, select the form that says Start Here. This is consistent across all programs. You must select the option that indicates Start Here, or else you may start later in the workflow and the application may miss some important validation steps. So in summary, always select the option that says Start Here from this Select Application Form drop-down. Click Continue with Creation. The Continue with New App Creation screen will appear. The first part of this customer search has a lot of fields. However, it is not relevant to most programs. We recommend that customers just enter their name in the required fields here, and click Search Customer. If you have previously submitted an application, you will see a Select option to select the customer and match your existing record that's in the system. If an account is not recognized, a new one will be created and you will get this account does not exist as a current customer. You can continue on. This Mickey Mouse will be saved down in the system the next time an application is submitted, and it will recognize this customer record. You do not need to worry about any of the other fields here, such as account number, name, account number, or email. Just focus on the first name, last name, which are required fields. I will now scroll down to complete the form. As you can see, in the project information Start Here, this is where you start completing application information. These are different depending on which program you're working within. So I will just go through and look for required fields. In this C1, we will start with the custom project proposal step, but you all are welcome to submit a completion report or a scoping document. As I mentioned, scrolling down, I am looking for these required fields as indicated by the red asterisk. You must complete all required fields for this to move forward. In these address fields, it is also important that you provide valid addresses. If you do not, an address validation step may prevent you from moving forward. I will just use Bonneville's address as an example for today. And again, we'll use the same address for ease. Continue through the form, completing all required fields. Feel free to use the tab button to move easily between them. The sector here in Custom Programs will indicate which workflow this application proceeds in, so it's important that you select the correct sector. As you can see, based on your sector selection, some fields may or may not become required. And again, I'm scrolling down looking for all required fields. For C1 in particular, these requested inputs very much follow the existing C1 form. Once I have completed all the required fields, I will scroll down to the equipment section. While you are allowed to add equipment, or otherwise known as measures, in this field, it is not required at this point, and you can do so at a later time. One important thing to note, though, you always want to use the Add Equipment button and not the Add Approved Equipment button. This will not load properly. And again, in the Files section, you are welcome to upload files at this point. However, it is not required, and you will have the ability to do so at a later time. Again, once you have completed all required fields, scroll down to the bottom and click Create New Application. Once the application is properly created, you will get a green confirmation notification at the bottom left, and you will also have the option to either open the application or create a new one. It is important that after completing an application, you check in to make sure that there are no issues or no subsequent steps that need to be created, that need to be completed. So I will click on Open Application now to see where it is in the workflow. Once I click that, it will take me directly to the application page. It is important that I look at the workflow section and see if I have any tasks to complete. This is requesting that I add or update measures before submitting application for BPA review. So I will do that now. It is important to note that these tasks will be different depending on which program you're working with in. To figure out how to complete the task, click on this blue bar and follow the instructions here. It will tell you how to complete. Another important thing to note, in this Assign To section, it will show which which roles can complete this required task. Here, you can see that this can be completed by the BPA CSEs, ESI CS engineers, or ESIPs, or the utility is free to complete this also. That means this task will appear in all of their individual workflows for any of them to complete. After I've reviewed the instructions, I want to click Cancel to allow these instructions to be available should I need to reference them again. As I know I need to add or update measures, I will click on the Equipment tab, which is BEETS' name for measures. As you can see, nothing is listed, so I need to add a measure. To add a measure, I click the Add Equipment button. It is important that you do not click the Add Approved Equipment button because it will not load properly. By clicking the Add Equipment button, I will see an Add Equipment form appear. This will give me options that will be different depending on the program I'm working within. Once I have clicked through, to add a measure, I need to click Apply Approved Equipment. This will show me which fields are required to be completed. You are welcome to use the ref ID or manufacturer and model fields to search. However, depending on which program you're working within, they may or may not be relevant. So I will just work on the required one here. There's only one option in this situation, and I will click Search. As you can see, all of the measures will appear. You are also welcome to reference the custom measures list and copy the ref note into the ref ID field to search for a specific one. In this situation, I will select a measure that I want to add to the application by hovering over it, and you will see these two icons that appear. I can either click on this, I know it's the correct one, and it will add it automatically, or I can take a look at the measure details by clicking on this eye. This will show me some additional information about this measure. Once I know it's the correct one, I click Apply Approved Equipment. You will see the measure details are entered. Now it's important that you scroll down and look for ones that indicate required. If you do not complete these at this point, the workflow will instruct you to do so after completing the task. So I will offer up some site savings as it's required for this step. As you go through this custom project submittal, depending on where you are in the process, you may have to complete different fields. It is important to note that these calculations are not updated automatically. You will need to go through the workflow for them to run, and I will show you in a second where to find that data. Once I have reviewed to make sure I've completed everything that's required, I click Add Equipment. You'll get a confirmation notice here in the lower left corner, and you will also see that now there is a measure loaded. As always, once I complete a task, I return to the workflow and make sure I close it out. So clicking on the task I just completed, I certify that it was done and click Submit. The workflow will take me through multiple steps. I will run through these quickly with less than accurate data just to move us along. It is important that you complete all of the required fields or you will not be able to move forward in the workflow. Please read these in detail to know what information to provide. These should seem pretty familiar as they mirror what is submitted in the custom project form currently. And again, looking for required fields, it is anticipated that you will take a lot longer to do this as you should read through these in detail. Once I have completed all the required fields, I click Save. As you can see, I forgot to complete one, so it will take me back and direct me to complete this required field. You will see the workflow updated and a confirmation notification will appear. As you can see, new tasks appear as I move forward in the workflow. This one is asking me to upload documents. By clicking on it, it will give me instructions on how to do so. And again, I want to keep this open just in case I forget how to do it, and press Cancel. To upload documents, click on the Document tab and click on Upload Files. You will get this file upload screen. Click Browse to add. And I'm going to look in my computer for my sample document. This again will direct you through required fields. These may vary depending on the program. This folder will allow you to put it in different folders depending on where you are in the process. We are in the proposal stage, so I will select proposal and the file type. You can add custom tags that will be viewable in the screen to help you indicate which document you're referring to. This is a personal reference and not required by BEETS. File access is irrelevant. Whether you select public or private, the document will only be available to those who can access the application. So while it's required, you may select whichever. This file security, however, does have restricted access to users who are identified as needing access to this utilities document. So if you have any high security or NDA documents you need to indicate, select restricted access. For now, I'll do all access and upload. As you can see, the document is now added to the screen. You can click or unclick to hide them from view. If you would like to view the document, you can click View in Sidebar. You can download it. You can edit it. Or you can open it in split view or delete it. Once you have uploaded the document, again, you always want to go back to your workflow and close out your tasks. So click Upload Documents as I just completed it and certify that it is completed. I will continue completing all the required forms. And again, I will do this quickly. Continue to follow the workflow and the instructions until you no longer have any tasks. So I've gone through quite a few tasks and have moved this forward in the workflow. I'm now ready to submit my application for BPA review. One thing to note, if I want to look at any application information I previously submitted before sending to BPA, I can access this information in the Forms tab. I have also pinned this to my sidebar for easy access. As you can see, all of the different forms can be accessed on the right. Everything you submitted through this process so far can be accessed here or edited as needed. It is a good practice to go through and check all of your submittals before it moves along to BPA. So I will look right here and just scan through. Everything looks good. Now remember I had said previously that the form calculations do not update automatically. These do, however, update after running the workflow. So if I want to see those calculations, I can find them in the forms, or if I need to view my measure, you can click Edit. And now everything will have been run properly. This is a way to check your calculations. As I've reviewed all my documents, I'm ready to submit to BPA. So return to my workflow, click Submit for BPA review. I'm certifying that I've completed everything I needed to. And sometimes it takes a minute, but the green confirmation notice will appear. Once I have completed all the required tasks, I will receive this screen, which is a bit misleading, but this blank screen indicates that I have no further tasks to complete. And this has moved forward to the next status in the workflow, which in this case is Proposal ESI Review. So it is with the ESI QC to complete the review before it moves forward to BPA. I will also receive an email notice that this application has been created, and it will have the application number if I need to reference it at a later time. This is the end of the application entry via manual entry method video. Thank you for watching.